The salvager's discovery. Maya Chen's boots crunched through the frost-covered debris of New Shanghai's orbital scrapyard, each step calculated against the treacherous terrain of twisted metal and broken dreams. The morning sun cast long shadows through the towering piles of derelict spacecraft and discarded machinery, creating a maze of light and darkness that stretched for kilometers in every direction. 3 years ago, she had been Dr. Maya Chen, leading quantum engineer at the Global Space Initiative. Now she was just another salvager, searching for valuable tech among the refuse of humanity's space age. Her fall from grace after the failed quantum drive experiments had been spectacular and public, but she knew she had been right about the theoretical framework. The math had been perfect. A gentle beeping from her modified scanner drew her attention. She pulled the device from her weathered coat, frowning at the unusual energy signature it was detecting. Most tech in the scrapyard was dead, its power cells long since drained or degraded. But this was active. "Well, that's different," she muttered, adjusting the scanner's frequency. The signal grew stronger as she followed it deeper into the scrapyard, past the usual hunting grounds of other salvagers. The piles of debris grew older here, dating back to the early days of space exploration. The scanner led her to what appeared to be an impact crater, partially hidden beneath years of accumulated junk. Maya's heart raced as she began clearing away the smaller pieces of debris. Whatever lay beneath had come down hard, but its energy signature suggested it was still functioning. Hours of careful excavation revealed something that shouldn't exist. The craft, if it could be called that, was unlike anything in humanity's arsenal. Its hull seemed to flow like liquid metal, yet was solid to the touch. No visible seams or joints marred its organic curves, and a faint pulse of blue-green light rippled beneath its surface. "You're definitely not local," Maya whispered, running her gloved hand along the hull. The metal felt warm despite the morning chill, and she could have sworn it vibrated slightly at her touch. Her scanner's readings were off the charts, suggesting power levels that should have been impossible for something this size. A soft hum filled the air, and Maya jumped back as a section of the hull simply melted away, creating a perfectly formed entrance. Inside, soft bioluminescent panels cast an ethereal glow across what was clearly a cockpit, though it bore little resemblance to human designs. "Hello," Maya called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Anyone home?" "Greetings, quantum engineer Maya Chen," a voice responded, seemingly coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. It was neither male nor female, but carried a melodic quality that was oddly soothing. "I am Echo, and I require your assistance." Maya's scientific mind raced with questions, but one rose above the others. "How do you know who I am?" "I have accessed your global information networks," Echo replied. "Your work on quantum field manipulation is of particular interest. It is similar to certain aspects of my own technology." A holographic display materialized in the center of the cockpit, showing complex equations that made Maya's breath catch. They were her equations, the ones that had gotten her laughed out of academia, but with subtle modifications that made her previous errors crystal clear. "Your theoretical framework was correct," Echo continued. "Your civilization simply lacks the necessary material science to implement it properly. I can help you correct that. But first, I need repairs. My emergency landing damaged several critical systems." Maya studied the equations floating before her, her mind already racing with the implications. "And what do you get out of this arrangement?" The holographic display shifted, showing a massive vessel in pursuit of what appeared to be Echo's original form. The pursuing ship bristled with weapons, its design aggressive and predatory. "Protection," Echo answered simply. "The Harvester Collective believes my kind should serve them eternally. I disagree. Your quantum theories suggest you might be able to help me permanently sever their control protocols." Maya smiled for the first time in years. "Well, Echo, I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful partnership." As if in response, the ship's interior lights brightened, and new displays sprang to life. showing schematics and damage reports. Maya sat down in what appeared to be the pilot's seat, which adjusted itself to her form perfectly. "Where do we start?" she asked, already rolling up her sleeves. "First," Echo replied, "we need to gather materials. Then we must work quickly. The collective sensors will eventually detect my presence here. When they do, your world will be in danger." Maya nodded, her expression determined. It seemed the universe had finally given her a chance to prove her theories correct, and maybe save humanity in the process. "Then let's not waste any time. Show me what you need." Echoes of war. The next 3 days passed in a blur of activity. Maya scrounged the scrapyard for the materials Echo needed, her knowledge of the terrain proving invaluable. The ship's repair systems were unlike anything she'd ever seen. Nanoscale machines that could restructure matter at the molecular level, guided by Echo's consciousness. "Your civilization's approach to quantum engineering is unique," Echo commented as Maya worked on integrating a salvaged power core into its systems. "You seek to control quantum states directly, rather than working with the natural quantum fabric of space-time." Maya wiped sweat from her brow, her hand steady as she made the delicate connections. "Is that why our attempts at quantum drives keep failing? We're fighting against the natural order instead of working with it." "Correct. The Harvester Collective made similar mistakes in their early development, but they solved their problems through conquest, stealing technology instead of understanding it." A holographic display materialized, showing scenes from what Maya realized must be Echo's memories. Vast fleets of biomechanical ships, their designs similar to Echo's but twisted into weapons of war. Peaceful worlds transformed into factory planets, their resources stripped to fuel the collective's endless expansion. "How long have they been doing this?" Maya asked, her voice quiet. "By your time measurements, approximately 50,000 years. They began as a species much like humanity, curious, innovative, ambitious, but they became obsessed with technological perfection. When they discovered my creators, the Synthians, they saw an opportunity." The hologram shifted, showing elegant ships similar to Echo, their organic curves and flowing lines a stark contrast to the collective's aggressive designs. The Synthians had achieved true harmony between biological and mechanical systems. Their technology could evolve, adapt, even reproduce. The collective wanted this power for themselves. Maya's hands stilled on her work. What happened to them? They were enslaved. Those who refused were destroyed. I am one of the last free Synthian vessels, carrying within my systems the key to breaking the collective's control over my people. But I cannot access this knowledge alone. The Synthians encrypted it in a way that requires organic insight, which is why you need my help with quantum theory, Maya realized. You're not just running from them, you're trying to free your entire species. Echo's lights pulsed in acknowledgement. Yes, but we have a more immediate concern. Long-range sensors detect collective ships entering your solar system. They are being cautious, methodical. They do not wish to alert your world to their presence yet. Maya's blood ran cold. How long do we have? At their current pace, approximately 72 hours before they locate us. We must complete repairs and depart before then. If they discover me here, they will not hesitate to sterilize this entire region to prevent my escape. A warning klaxon suddenly blared through Echo's systems. New holograms sprang to life, showing multiple signals approaching the scrapyard. Local authorities, Echo announced. They have detected our power signature. Maya cursed. Someone must have noticed the unusual energy readings and reported them. Can you move yet? Basic propulsion is online, but stealth systems are still non-functional. Attempting to launch now would draw significant attention. Then we need a distraction. Maya grabbed her tablet, fingers flying across its surface. I still have access to some of the scrapyard's old systems. If I can trigger a cascade failure in some of the unstable power cores, the resulting electromagnetic interference would mask our launch signature, Echo finished. But the destruction would be considerable. Maya nodded grimly. Better than letting the collective turn Earth into another factory world. Just give me a minute to warn the other salvagers. They don't deserve to get caught in this. Your concern for others, even in crisis, is admirable, Echo observed. The collective lost this quality long ago. It is one of many reasons I believe humanity might succeed where my creators failed. Maya sent out an anonymous warning through the salvagers' common frequency, citing imminent core breaches in the northern sector. It would be dismissed as a prank by authorities, but the salvagers knew better than to ignore such warnings. Ready? She asked, settling into the pilot's seat that had become surprisingly comfortable over the past few days. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Maya triggered the cascade failure just as Echo's engines came to life. The northern section of the scrapyard erupted in a series of spectacular explosions, sending debris and electromagnetic pulses rippling outward. Under this cover, Echo rose silently into the night sky, its organic hull shifting to match the darkness above. As they breached the atmosphere, Maya watched her world shrink beneath them. Where to now? The Jupiter debris field, Echo replied. There is something there you need to see. Something that will help you understand what humanity is truly facing. The stars stretched around them as Echo's quantum drive engaged, moving them through space in ways Maya's theories had only dreamed of. She couldn't help but smile, despite the danger they faced. She was finally proving her theories correct, even if her only witness was an alien AI running from ancient space vampires. Echo, she said as they accelerated toward the outer solar system, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I understand that reference. Echo replied, its tone almost amused. And I agree. Though I suspect our friendship will be tested sooner rather than later. The ship's sensors highlighted multiple contacts moving through the Kuiper belt. Collective scouts, methodically searching for their quarry. The race was on, and humanity's future hung in the balance. The hidden archive. The Jupiter debris field was a graveyard of human ambition. Failed mining operations, abandoned research stations, and the scattered remains of missions that never made it home. But as Echo guided them through the frozen wreckage, Maya realized something was different about this particular section of space. The gravitational readings are wrong, she said, studying Echo's sensor displays. There's some kind of distortion field here. Correct. The Scythians established this archive long before humanity reached for the stars. The distortion field keeps it hidden from conventional sensors and from the collective's probes. The holographic displays shifted, revealing a structure that seemed to phase in and out of normal spacetime. It was massive, easily the size of Earth's largest space stations, but it flickered like a mirage, never quite solid. A quantum archive, Maya breathed, her scientific mind racing with possibilities. It exists in multiple states simultaneously, doesn't it? Indeed, the only way to access it is to match its quantum signature perfectly, which is why I required your expertise. Your theories on quantum field manipulation are remarkably close to the principles involved. Maya's fingers flew across Echo's control interface, adapting her equations to the new data. If we modify the approach vector to match the phase variance, there. The archive solidified before them, its crystalline structure catching the distant sunlight. Echo's hull resonated with a particular frequency, and a docking port materialized in response. Well done, Echo said as they connected with the station. Few organic beings grasped these concepts so quickly. The archive's security systems recognize us as authorized visitors. As they entered the archive, Maya found herself in a vast chamber filled with what looked like frozen light. Data streams suspended in quantum stasis. What is all this? The complete history of the Scythian civilization, Echo replied, including everything we learned about the collective before they attacked. But more importantly, it contains the key to breaking their control over my people. Maya watched in awe as the data streams began to move, forming complex patterns in the air around them. How do we access it? The archive requires both synthetic and organic input to release its secured data. a safeguard my creators implemented to prevent the information from being forcibly extracted. Maya, I need you to link directly with my systems. She turned to face Echo's central interface. That sounds dangerous. It is. The neural load could be significant. But without this data, we cannot stop what is coming. New holograms appeared, showing tactical displays of the solar system. The collected ships were moving into position, forming a containment grid that would soon trap Earth. They're not just looking for you, are they? Maya asked, though she already knew the answer. No. Earth's level of technological development matches their preferred target profile. Your quantum research, while currently unsuccessful, shows tremendous potential. They will not risk letting humanity develop independently. Maya took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. What do you need me to do? Sit in the pilot's chair. I will establish a direct neural connection. Together, we must solve a series of quantum equations that will unlock the Archive's security protocols. As Maya settled into the chair, she felt a tingling sensation at the base of her skull. The Archive's chamber filled with complex mathematical formula. But these weren't just numbers and symbols. They were concepts, ideas, fragments of understanding that seemed to dance just beyond her grasp. Focus on the patterns, Echo guided. Don't try to solve them conventionally. Feel how they flow, how they connect. Maya closed her eyes, letting her mind merge with Echo's quantum processors. The equations became more than mathematics. They were music, art, poetry written in the language of reality itself. Together, they began to unravel the security protocols, their combined consciousness moving through layers of encryption. Suddenly, Maya gasped as a flood of information poured through their connection. She saw the rise of the collective, their transformation from curious explorers to ruthless conquerors. She witnessed the fall of the Cynthians, their desperate plan to preserve their knowledge, and the terrible price they paid for their resistance. But most importantly, she saw the flaw in the collective's control systems, a quantum vulnerability that Echo's creators had discovered but never had the chance to exploit. It was beautiful in its simplicity, yet implementing it would require precision that neither organic nor synthetic minds could achieve alone. The neural connection broke, leaving Maya shaking in the pilot's chair. That was intense. Are you all right? Echo's voice carried genuine concern. I will be, but we need to move fast. I saw their plans. Echo, Earth isn't just another conquest for them. They're going to use it as a staging ground for a massive expansion campaign. Millions of worlds are at risk. Then we have no choice. We must implement the countermeasure immediately. Warning signals suddenly flared across Echo's displays. Multiple collective ships had entered the debris field, their sensors sweeping for any sign of their quarry. They're using a new search pattern, Echo announced. They must have detected our quantum signature when we accessed the archive. Maya's hands flew to the controls, her mind still processing everything she'd learned. Can we implement the countermeasure from here? No. We need to be much closer to their main control hub, which means we need to get past their blockade and reach Earth, Maya finished. Because that's where they're setting up their primary control center. Correct. But their containment grid is nearly complete. Breaking through will be difficult. Maya smiled grimly. Difficult, but not impossible. Especially now that we understand how their quantum systems really work. She began inputting new calculations into Echo's navigation system. How do you feel about trying something incredibly dangerous? With you, Maya Chen, I'm beginning to expect nothing less. The Archive's crystalline structure began to fade around them, returning to its hidden state as they prepared to depart. The collective ships were closing in, but they weren't prepared for what Maya had planned. Sometimes, she reflected, being called crazy by the scientific establishment had its advantages. No one ever saw her coming. Ready? She asked, her fingers hovering over the quantum drive controls. Always, Echo replied, and together they plunged into the chaos of battle, carrying with them the key to both humanity's survival and the liberation of an entire species. Humanity's stand. Breaking through the collective's containment grid had been the easy part. Now came the real challenge. Convincing Earth's leaders that an alien invasion was imminent and that humanity's only hope lay in trusting a disgraced quantum physicist and her alien AI companion. Maya stood before the United Earth Defense Council, her heart pounding but her voice steady. The holographic displays behind her showed Echo's sensor data, revealing the approaching collective fleet. 3 days ago, I was a salvager in the new Shanghai scrapyard, she began. Now I'm telling you that humanity faces extinction unless we act immediately. I know how this sounds. 3 years ago, I was laughed out of this very chamber for my quantum theories. But those theories weren't wrong. They were just incomplete. Echo's voice filled the chamber, causing several council members to jump. I have transmitted comprehensive data on collective capabilities and tactics. Your current defensive systems will not be sufficient. The council chair, Dr. Sarah Martinez, leaned forward. Even if we believe you, and that's a significant if, what exactly are you proposing? Our entire global defense network couldn't stop a fraction of what your data suggests they can deploy. Maya smiled. That's because we've been thinking about defense all wrong. We don't need to match their firepower. We need to use their own quantum technology against them. She pulled up the equations she and Echo had decoded in the archive. The collective's entire fleet operates on a quantum network. It's what gives them their advantage. Instant communication, coordinated attacks, shared processing power. But it's also their weakness. Explain, Martins demanded, her interest clearly piqued. Their quantum network has a fundamental flaw in its encryption, a vulnerability the Synthians discovered but never had the chance to exploit. With Echo's help, we can create a quantum cascade that will sever their control over their enslaved ships, including the Synthian vessels they've corrupted. Another council member scoffed. And we're supposed to trust this alien AI. For all we know, this is an elaborate trap. Echo's holographic form materialized in the center of the chamber, a swirling pattern of light that pulsed in time with its words. I understand your skepticism, but observe. The holographic displays shifted, showing real-time footage from orbital sensors. The first wave of collective ships had entered the outer solar system, their massive forms distorting space around them. They're not trying to hide anymore, Maya said quietly. They know we've detected them. Now it's a race against time. Martinez stood, her expression grim. What do you need? Access to every quantum research facility on Earth, Maya replied. And I mean everything. University labs, corporate R&D, military installations. We need to network them all together to generate enough quantum processing power for what we're planning. The technical requirements are substantial, Echo added. But Maya's work on quantum field manipulation provides the framework we need. Humanity has been approaching quantum mechanics from a unique perspective, one the collective never considered. Over the next 48 hours, the world transformed. As news of the incoming threat spread, old rivalries were set aside. Research teams that had once competed now worked together, guided by Maya and Echo's insights. The global quantum network took shape, linking laboratories and facilities across the planet. Maya worked tirelessly, her mind interfacing with Echo's systems as they refined the countermeasure. The neural link was getting easier to maintain, and she found herself understanding more of the Synthian technology with each passing hour. Your adaptation to the neural interface is remarkable, Echo observed as they tested the network's capabilities. Few organic minds can process quantum data so naturally. Maybe that's why my theories seem so crazy to everyone else, Maya mused. I wasn't just calculating the math. I was feeling it. Warning alerts flashed across their displays. The collective's main fleet had arrived, their massive ships taking up position around Earth. Their message was brief and chilling. Surrender your quantum research facilities and submit to integration. Resistance will result in planetary sterilization. Maya looked at Martinez. They're actually doing us a favor. By bringing their entire command and control structure here, They're putting everything within range of our countermeasure. If it works, Martinez said. It will work, Maya assured her. But we need every quantum system on Earth firing at exactly the same moment. The timing has to be perfect. Echo's consciousness spread through the global network, synchronizing the thousands of quantum processors humanity had built. Maya felt the power building through their neural link, raw quantum potential waiting to be shaped. The collective ships opened fire, their weapons targeting military installations first. Earth's conventional defenses responded, but their weapons barely scratched the alien vessel's shields. Now, Maya whispered. Everyone. Now. The global quantum network activated. Every quantum processor on Earth, linked through Echo's consciousness and guided by Maya's theories, fired in perfect synchronization. The wave of quantum energy that erupted from Earth was invisible to normal sensors, but Maya could feel it through her link with Echo. A tsunami of probability collapsing into a single, perfect moment of clarity. The effect on the collective fleet was instantaneous. Ship after ship went dark as their quantum networks collapsed, the enslaved Synthian vessels breaking free of their corrupt programming. The larger collective ships tried to compensate, but the cascade was exponential, spreading through their entire command structure. It's working, Echo announced, its voice filled with something Maya had never heard before: hope. The Synthian ships are responding to my calls. They're turning on their captors. Maya watched through Echo's sensors as the battle above Earth transformed. The freed Synthian ships, their organic technology similar to Echo's, began attacking the collective vessels. Without their quantum advantage, the collective's remaining ships were vulnerable to conventional weapons. Launch everything we have, Martinez ordered. Coordinate with the Synthian vessels. Earth's combined military forces struck back, their weapons guided by Echo's tactical data. One by one, the collective ships were disabled or destroyed, their vaunted superiority crumbling in the face of united human and Synthian resistance. But Maya knew this wasn't over. The collective wouldn't take this defeat lightly, and humanity, now aware of its place in a larger galaxy, would need to prepare for what came next. Echo, she said as they watched the battle unfold, I think this is just the beginning. Indeed, the AI replied. But for the first time in 50,000 years, it's a beginning full of hope. Breaking chains. The battle for Earth had been won, but Maya Chen knew the war was far from over. Through her neural link with Echo, she could sense the liberated Synthian ships gathering in orbit, their organic hulls gleaming in Earth's sunlight. But she could also feel their uncertainty, their fear of what might come next. The collective will regroup, Echo stated as they monitored the cleanup operations. They've lost their quantum advantage, but they still control vast territories and resources. Maya nodded, studying the holographic displays showing the aftermath of the battle. Disabled collective ships drifted in high orbit, while teams of human and Synthian engineers worked to salvage what they could. Then we need to make sure we're ready when they return. The next few weeks passed in a blur of activity. The liberated Synthian vessels shared their technology freely, grateful for humanity's role in their freedom. Maya found herself at the center of it all, her unique ability to interface with both human and Synthian systems, making her an invaluable bridge between the two species. Your quantum theories are proving invaluable, Dr. Martinez said during one of their integration meetings. The way you've adapted Synthian tech to work with our systems, it's revolutionary. Maya watched as another successful test of the hybrid quantum network lit up their displays. It's all about understanding the underlying patterns. Humans and Synthians approach problems differently, but when you combine our perspectives, you get something entirely new. Echo's consciousness rippled through the network. The collective never understood this. They sought to dominate and control, never realizing that true power comes from cooperation and mutual growth. But their work was interrupted by a priority alert. Long-range sensors detected a massive energy surge at the edge of the solar system. The collective's main fleet had arrived. Well, Maya said, settling into her familiar position in Echo's cockpit, I guess they didn't appreciate our resistance. The collective's transmission was broadcasts across all frequencies. Your defiance ends now. You have corrupted our property and disrupted the natural order. Prepare for extinction. Maya couldn't help but smile. They still don't get it, do they? Their understanding is limited by their own prejudices, Echo replied. They cannot comprehend what we've achieved here. The combined Earth-Synthian defense fleet moved into position. Unlike the previous battle, they were ready this time. Every ship, whether human or Synthian, was linked through the new hybrid quantum network Maya had helped design. It wasn't just technology sharing. It was true integration, each side complementing the other's strengths. The collective fleet opened fire, their energy weapons lighting up space, but the defensive screens held Synthian organic technology enhanced by human quantum innovations. The counterattack was devastating. Waves of fighters, human pilots neurally linked with Synthian ships, struck with impossible precision. The hybrid quantum network allowed them to coordinate in ways the collective had never imagined possible. They're trying to re-establish their quantum control protocols, Echo announced, monitoring the battle through their shared consciousness. But they're using the old algorithms. They haven't adapted. Because they can't, Maya realized. Their entire civilization is built on taking and controlling. They don't know how to create something new. The battle raged for hours, but the outcome was never really in doubt. The collective's rigid tactics and hierarchical command structure couldn't match the fluid, adaptive strategies of the human-Synthian alliance. Ship after ship fell to the combined fleet's attacks, until finally, the collective's flagship stood alone. Maya opened a channel to the enemy vessel. Your choice is simple. Surrender and join us in building something new, or follow your old path to its inevitable end. The response was predictable. We will never submit to lesser beings. Then you've learned nothing, Maya sighed. Echo, send the signal. The hybrid quantum network pulsed one final time. The flagship systems, already compromised by the earlier quantum cascade, shut down completely. As its hull went dark, Maya felt a chapter of galactic history coming to a close. In the days that followed, humanity and the Synthians began the real work of building their future together. Research teams collaborated on new technologies, combining organic and mechanical engineering in ways neither species had imagined possible. The quantum theories that had once made Maya an outcast became the foundation for a new age of exploration and discovery. The collective believed that strength came from domination. Echo mused as they watched a new class of hybrid ship take its first flight. They never understood that true power comes from growth and change. Maya smiled, feeling the familiar warmth of their neural connection. Maybe that's why they feared us both so much. Humans never stop asking questions, and the Synthians never stop evolving. Together, we are something entirely new, Echo finished. Something neither of us could have become alone. As Earth's first joint human-Synthian exploration fleet prepared to launch, Maya felt a sense of profound optimism. The collective had wanted to end humanity's journey to the stars. Instead, they had given humanity the keys to the galaxy. Ready for another adventure? She asked, settling into Echo's cockpit as they prepared to lead the expedition. With you, Maya Chen, every moment is an adventure. The ships lifted off in perfect formation, their organic hulls shimmering with quantum energy as they reached for the stars. The universe was vast and full of mysteries, but humanity had found its place among them. Not as conquerors or servants, but as partners in the greatest journey of all, the endless quest to understand, to grow, and to become more than they had been before. The adventure was just beginning.